Hello everyone, this is your Love and Finance Tarot Guidance for the month of June 2023. Every month I prepare a tarot reading with an astrological foreword providing long-range forecast, not just for the month to come, but also guidance regarding everything I see. This month, June of 2023, I am sending it out to the world for free so all can see and hear what it is I do. This is another big month in your 2023 timeline. My Love and Finance Tarot Guidance is only one of my subscription videos and can be found on my website, Patreon, and YouTube, along with weekly readings, those for individual sun signs, and even new and full moons. If you have any questions regarding subscription packages, feel free to contact me. I hope you enjoy it. As June begins, the only retrograde planet is Pluto, still in Aquarius at 0 degrees. Since March 23rd, Pluto's time in Aquarius has been a preview of what is to come beginning in January of 2024 and for the 20 years which follow. The third brings a full moon at 13 degrees Sagittarius, which will sextile Pluto, square Saturn, trine Mars, and square Neptune. This one has been on my radar for a long time, and understanding this multifaceted full moon will help you know how to best use your energy for good. Venus enters Leo on the 5th. If Venus in Cancer was emotional, caring, and sensitive, then Venus in Leo just wants to have fun, but also comes with the possibility of drama attached. Retrograde Pluto returns to Capricorn on the 11th. It will remain there until January of 2024, not to return again in your lifetime, and offering you one last chance to transform an area of your life which you have been working on since 2008. Also on the 11th, Mercury goes home to Gemini. Finally, the fog truly lifts and clarity returns. There is a sense of busyness, and you will not want to waste your time on idle chit-chat. Saturn begins its annual retrograde at 7 degrees Pisces on June 17th. Some will definitely breathe a sigh of relief, as a retrograde Saturn is in a weakened state and not apt to inflict such harsh lessons as when it is direct. A new moon at 26 degrees Gemini occurs June 18th. It will square Saturn, conjunct Mercury, sextile Venus and Mars, and square Neptune. It feels pleasant for the most part, but new moons do always tend to make some people extra cranky. The sun will move into Cancer at the time of the summer-winter solstice on the 21st. This is a time of celebration, and it ushers in a new energy for the next 3 months. Mercury is still whizzing along and enters Cancer June 26th. People will become less inquisitive and more emotional. Thought turns to matters of security around home and family. Neptune begins its annual retrograde on June the 30th at 27 degrees Pisces. Always pay close attention to your dreams at a Neptune station. They will be heightened, and you should sift through them carefully for any messages meant for you. As for aspects, June begins with a conjunction between good fortune Jupiter and the North Node in Taurus on the 1st. The planet of expansion is aligning with the North Node, setting a new course for adventures and possibilities. People you encounter at this point in your life can be valuable connections, helping to steer you down paths to be explored. Jupiter's expansive properties and the fated events brought by the North Node will push you in directions you might not have thought possible. This can be your moment to move forward toward your hopes and dreams, transforming your life for the good. You've been waiting for the proper time to make some moves, and this appears to be it. A cosmic force such as this is not one to be wasted, and you can go as far as you dare to dream. On the 2nd, Venus will trine Neptune. Heightened sensitivity in matters of love is possible now, if you can set aside any fantasizing about who and what the perfect love for you could be. Neptune's influence can cause one to don the rose-colored glasses, which can be known to skew the truth of things. Often, it is possible to believe that everyone you encounter is the one. Romance and compassion rule the day, and creativity is definitely something which should be explored if the love realm is of no current interest to you. You can definitely make headway on your creative projects now. Take a long walk, immerse yourself in the beauty of nature, allow yourself to take it all in, find a way to connect with the performing arts in some way. This is a very tender, loving, and intuitive transit which can bring out the softer side, even in those with the toughest exteriors. Mercury conjuncts Uranus in the sign of the Bull on June 4th. This transit is anything but typical and is best approached by clearing your schedule, or at the very least keeping it light. Unexpected events and news can throw a monkey wrench in the best of plans, so do your best to remain flexible right now. It is not just everyone else who might behave erratically. This includes you as well. Call it a fidgety type of energy, one which challenges you to break out of the norm and to try new things. Steer clear of projects which require critical thinking and any paperwork which could need your signature. Brilliant ideas are conceived during this transit, and scientific areas, especially technology, can benefit greatly from them. How it translates for you on a personal level will depend on other factors, and some could wind up thinking this nervous energy is a bout of anxiety. It will pass, just like all other energy does. But do remember, reaction is 99% of the equation. Blurting out words without forethought is definitely possible. So, if you can, try not to put yourself into the position for such conversations. Uranus's involvement creates events which are completely unpredictable, and no one can say whether they will be considered good or bad, only a huge surprise you did not see coming. The 5th brings an opposition between Venus and Pluto at none other than 0 degrees Leo and Aquarius, respectively. Obsessions in relationship can become very pronounced during this transit. Jealous tendencies are exhibited, much to one's detriment, as the need to control and perhaps even isolate another in order to keep their attention, especially in matters of love. Possessiveness is not an enduring quality, no matter who is doing it, whether it is you or you find yourself falling victim to it. Accusations of infidelity run rampant where there is none of which to speak. It is the increase in suspicions which tend to exacerbate these types of drama. Starting a relationship right now with someone you have just met could ultimately turn up a dark side of the individual of which you are not aware. Abusive persons could be encountered under this transit, and it would be advisable not to begin a relationship at this time. Venus in Leo will square the North Node in Taurus, June the 8th. Even though the North Node generally indicates a direction change, in this instance, it can bring up relationship issues, especially if you have been more focused on your own self rather than tending to the balance of your relationships. There is certainly nothing wrong with looking out for yourself, but you might need to assess the value of a relationship and whether or not you have been doing your part. On the 9th, Mercury sextiles Neptune. Allow your words to be ones of healing now. Kindness, compassion, and spirituality rule the day, and the social nature of this transit will make for some pleasant interactions. However, this is not the time for facts and figures, critical thinking, or signing on the dotted line. Creative pursuits can excel under this influence, and those such as fantasy artists and writers will be especially creative. Intuition peaks with this aspect, and it is important to be paying attention to your dreams. Your most effective communication will be that which is designed to help and be of assistance to others. The Gemini Sun will sextile Chiron in Aries on the 10th. The Sun has a way of putting you in the spotlight And with a positive aspect, such as the sextile, the view others have of you, and even yours of yourself, tends to be quite favorable. When Chiron, the wounded healer, is involved, wounds are easier in this case to face head on and to heal. Confidence is always key to attaining success, and this can be a winning combination for you if you let it and you are ready to step up and take charge. Mercury in Taurus trines retrograde Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees June 11th. Whichever end of this transit you find yourself on, it can leave a huge impact on your life. Conversations, meaningful ones, can bring more than transformation. They can help you achieve something which you desire. There may be some smooth talkers out there, the type who seemingly know what you are thinking and how to convince you to do their bidding. Be involved in all communications and be certain to get what you want out of it. There is no better time to ask than the present. Also on the 11th, Venus squares Jupiter. You may be wanting to shirk off responsibilities to do any serious work today in favor of doing something fun and exciting. Any social activities are favored at this time, but if you are prone to any types of excess, such as food, alcohol, drugs, or gambling, to name a few, you may wish to take a buddy to be your conscience and help keep you in line. It will be very easy to stray today. Insofar as the Venus aspect, where money is concerned, leave your credit and debit cards behind today in order to avoid temptation. You can feel compelled to spend money on things you really should not. June 15th, Mercury will square Saturn. This particular transit can feel mentally challenging for many people. It is a good time to tackle things which you find hard to do with regard to thinking critically. Thoughts and communication are better left for another time, as they can be easily misunderstood. Be sure to dot your I's and cross your T's, for it is possible to make mistakes. Saturn has a way of making one's outlook rather glum, and you might need to keep reminding yourself it is only energy before you allow yourself to sink deep into a pit of despair. Do not accept all you hear as the truth. Do your own investigations. On the 17th, Mercury forms a sextile with Venus. This very social transit is one where you can let your hair down for a bit and take time for yourself to just be. Some of this could depend on how relationships are going at the moment, so do read for other influences surrounding this aspect for a clearer picture of things. Overall, however, things should feel less stressful. When these two come together in such a positive manner, your charms become a superpower, one which you can wield to gain favor and obtain things you want. Mercury sextile Venus can create positive influences in both your love and money sectors, and perhaps even help you to achieve some form of resolution with a long-term issue. The Sun squares Neptune June 18th. This is a particularly deceptive transit, and if you are prone to be overwhelmed by Neptune's influence, you will need to guard against those who would seek to deceive you. It is one of those times when it is not advisable to sign anything or to enter into agreements of any kind. Under this aspect, scammers seek to scam, and others, even those close to you, may attempt to pull the wool over your eyes. Jupiter will sextile Saturn on the 19th. This is a winning combination, with Jupiter providing an optimistic outlook, together with the possibilities of expansion. Saturn brings the maturity necessary to maintain a strong work ethic and to ensure what is taking place will work to your benefit for the long term. It is a rare transit, and while it does not come with hoopla, the more work you are willing to put towards your projects, the greater the successes shall be, sustaining you for some time to come. Do not try to do everything. Rather, choose the best of your goals and give them your undivided attention and effort. You will be so glad you did. June 21st, Mercury sextiles Mars. This personal planet combination might be just what you need to get you going. It encompasses both mental and physical attributes, and when both the mind and body choose to cooperate, there is not much which you cannot do. Mercury, of course, is your thought and communication, and now it is clearer and more purposeful, allowing you to be direct and honest without being overbearing. Mars is your oomph, your drive, your passion, and your courage. It is everything which motivates you to believe you are capable of all things. Think of this as a good time to tackle all of the tasks which you felt were mind-boggling, overwhelming, and simply too much to handle. You can use this energy not just in work or business, but in a social manner as well, for with boosted confidence and energy levels, you will come across in so many positive ways. Venus may not be involved here, but if what has held you back from a first date was a lack of courage, this is your aspect to finally say something. Also on the 21st, Mercury forms a sextile with Chiron in Aries. This aspect can be put to its best use by bringing great minds together to work on solutions, whether it is within a think tank or brainstorming within your group of family, friends, or associates. While Chiron is the healer, Mercury is the thinker and communicator, showing that this is a time where great ideas can be conveyed to bring about said healing. Also look for the possibility of attention to siblings at this time. Mars will trine Chiron June 22nd. If a painful aspect of life has needed healing for some time, Mars will provide the impetus to face it head on and find a way to recover. On the 23rd, the Sun sextiles the North Node. There are times when you require a little help and support along the way, and this is one of them. What you need you shall have in the form of the right people being there to assist in ways which will help you achieve your next move. You can benefit from this transit in difficult situations. This is a good time to create the path you desire, rising above any issues which you are facing. Mercury squares Neptune on the 25th. This transit has "proceed with caution" written all over it. Critical thinking is not likely to be available, and deception and confusion abound, as Neptune has a way of exacerbating both of them. The conspiracy theorists will be out in full force, and falling prey to their mistruths is something which can happen to even the best. Not commit to anything important at this time, and by all means be as truthful as you can in your dealings, for otherwise they could come back to bite you. Avoid any substances which can influence the mind and further worsen your abilities to perceive. If you do feel confused and you need to decide something, seek professional help or qualified answers. Mars in Leo will square Uranus in Taurus June 26th. This energy is best harnessed for good. Suppressing it can have extreme results. It is meant to break out of the norm in a big way, so you need to find a creative outlet to put all of this to good use. The problem here lies in the unpredictability of not just your actions and words, but those of others as well. Mars is forceful, aggressive, determined, and courageous, while Uranus desires eccentric ways, freedom at any cost, and an out-of-the-box approach. At its worst, this can be a real hot-button day, fueling aggressive warlike behavior, or at its best, it can be used to spark the imagination and make incredible breakthroughs which can benefit the future of mankind. On the 27th, Mercury sextiles the North Node. When creating change, being clear on the proper action to take is of key importance. This transit will assist you with the necessary brain power to form a proper plan for moving forward in order to achieve your hopes and dreams. Developing a sound strategy on how to go about things will definitely benefit you in the long run. Sun will trine Saturn on the 28th. If you have been putting in the work, whenever Saturn challenges you to learn a lesson, then it could very well be time to reap the rewards. Not all Saturn transits are gloomy and depressing or stressful even, and this one could be most enjoyable. The sun tends to put you in the spotlight, showing you favor, and your goals may finally feel as if they are attainable. This is definitely a reap what you sow type of transit, and you are poised to gain marvelous things if you have truly been putting forth the effort. Hopefully, this makes all of the hardships you have endured worthwhile, so as to never repeat them again in this lifetime. You have much to teach others, which you have learned through your experiences. Venus trines Chiron June 29th. Be kind to yourself today and do something special just for you in the area of self-care and self-love. If Venus is love and money and Chiron is healing, then ask, what can you do for yourself to make you feel good about you, rather than picking apart your very being and looking for flaws. Spend some time emphasizing the good. It will work wonders for your outlook when you can embrace you as your perfect self with all of your beautiful imperfections. It may even spill over into your relationships with others. And finally, Mercury will trine Saturn on the 30th. If you have been trying to get into the right headspace to tackle something which really requires your undivided attention and focus to reach your goal, then this is your aspect. Saturn is serious about making the right decisions, especially those which can sustain you for the long term. So use this transit to really apply yourself to the task at hand. Be sure to read for all surrounding aspects so as not to have any interfering influence, and consider this your green light to sign any important documents and contracts. Where Saturn is concerned, there can also be matters involving family, including estate planning, dealing with elders, or even as an elder, dealing with someone younger who needs your advice. What you accomplish under this transit will have staying power, so do not let this one go to waste. Okay, that might just be the longest astrological forward ever. I do have some thoughts on this if you have been following along, in recent months where we discussed March, April, and May. There was something that was kind of kicking in there in February, which got you going, trying to do stuff, trying to make things happen. And here we are, finally, in June. There's been some monumental energy at play in recent months, and this month is certainly no exception. But if you ask me to, pinpoint, to say, where does it start in June? Where does it happen? Whatever I've been looking for. And I say right there on the 1st with the conjunction between Jupiter and the North Node. And it's been June, and talking about that full moon coming on the 3rd. So, pay close attention to everything that's happening, because I do believe you will find this month kind of sets you off in new directions. It's here everywhere I look, putting an end to just stuff, right? Stuff. Now, mind you, it is never everything, but whatever you manage to close the door on, I say it feels pretty good, because you can once again start to focus on your hopes and dreams, right? You've never abandoned them. You just kind of had to set them aside while you figured some of this crap out to get moving. And there is that full moon in Sagittarius, kind of beating down that door on the conflict in your life where things have just kind of been resistant, and feeling so much better by the time you get to the solstice. Wherever I might have mentioned Uranus throughout the month, pay attention there. I'm not going to say so as not to be surprised, because you really can't do that when it comes to Uranus, but it is helpful, to have a little free time for whatever comes up, because between Mercury and Uranus, which are kind of like related, like little brother, big brother, there's this excitement that begins to fill the air. Now, I'm not saying you're, singing and dancing around, but some of you might be, all right? Because there is definitely a change in the air You are leaving stuff behind. And throughout all of this, you're able to, in June, take lessons you have learned and apply them to your life in a positive manner. Now, you heard me speak about Jupiter sextile Saturn. That is a very rare transit, and one which can bring tremendous impact to your life for a very long time to come. This month, I think especially once Mercury moves into Gemini on the 11th, you should really find yourself better able to cut through the illusion, okay? You've been patient long enough. You need to tone things down a bit with some people when it comes to Mars and Leo, because that lion is already brave and proud and courageous. I think finding a good balance with kindness and compassion and even humanitarianism can go a long, long way. Now, the freedom that you have been seeking, I can't help but feel that June is the month that really, puts you off. What did I say about the solstice? About it being the energy in play for the next 3 months. And we kind of work in these segments, so to speak, of these 3-month time spans. Doesn't mean they're all that way, but it is a part of it. And this is all about your power. All about your power. You're definitely, ready to come into your own and not wanting to, not sneaking around anymore. All right? And I don't mean you've been sneaking around, but you've kind of been going and doing stuff, not really necessarily fearful, but maybe always glancing over your shoulder and make sure nobody's going to come along and say, hey, wait a minute, come back here. That wasn't meant for you, okay? Because this very clearly shows it is. And the timing in June, and that's what I feel like, it's timing. It's much, much better for getting things going. The Jupiter factor, and it's very important to remember, you might not always realize when you meet people, because Jupiter tends to bring new people. You can benefit from those around you as well, but Jupiter likes to connect you with people who can really help you. And it might be 6 months, a year later, where you look back over everything that's happened and go, wow, from that moment when I met that person and this series of events which took place, I'm telling you. And we've got Jupiter in there twice this month in a big way. So pay attention. Don't be like everybody you meet where you're trying to get something from them. I don't think that will work. This is meant to be in such a way that, what is here will benefit you, and things will just happen. You'll see, because Jupiter is that planet of good fortune. So you're definitely, I'd say, beginning to flip the script, all right? Because the cycles are changing in your life this month. Remember how I talked about there was a new story that wants to come in? And I think part of this is that part of your life that's just been, all right, I'm done with this. I'm just so over it. I'm bored this way, and I'm just, lather, rinse, repeat is how I always think of it, like the status quo. It just gotta, I need some change. So, yep, there it is. Change, is unbelievable, and it's gonna happen. I just, like I said, might be surprised. Here again, I see a lot of things happening leading up to the solstice. Be wise in all you do. There is definitely some major manifestation potential afoot, and, I think that while we don't always win at everything we attempt, that there are major successes which are available in June. And here again, I think some of it is notable early on, but there's a stretch that runs June into July, even with the upcoming Venus retrograde near the end of next month, because you're stepping out, you're stepping up, you're taking charge. All right, it's like like where you've been like trying to climb a, what do they call those things? I don't know, a ladder, that rock climbing stuff. You need a foothold. You're finally finding the foothold to get going, to get moving, and feeling better about things. So yeah, this feels good to me. Issues of control and balance are everywhere I look, but it's not about control where you're a controlling individual or you're even being controlled. It's about, that kind of control where you don't feel like your life is run amok, okay? Because that's kind of what, a lot of you have experienced for so long. And you've done as much as you can to, keep a lot of it at bay, the surprises that life throws at you, that kind of stuff. But boy, oh boy, it's like, all right, I think I got a handle on this. I think I got it all going on. Now it's time to create something fantastical. And there's financial opportunity, which is available here as well. All right, boy, oh boy. It's one of our greatest burdens in life, or whatever, the limitations we impose on ourselves through bad habits, even, things that we do which prevent us from seeing clearly, from moving forward. But I really truly feel that whatever's going on now mind you, with something as big as Jupiter conjunct the North Node, that doesn't mean you get up on the first and you suddenly go off in a new direction. It could take you a little bit of time, but you are choosing. You're definitely choosing new paths, and within relationships as well, okay? And when it comes to relationships, there's this thing about choices that I always like to bring up. And my motto is, if you keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to keep on getting what you're getting. So if you allow into your life the same type of people all the time, you're going to wind up with the same results. Maybe once in a while you need to give the good guy a chance, okay? He may seem routine, he may seem predictable and dull and boring, and he's not the bad boy, but you know what I'm saying? Step back and assess your life and say, okay, I always have the same outcome. How can I make it different? How can I step back into my power? And what can I do to choose differently? I'm telling you, you are going in some new directions this month, and you will be deciding about all of this. Yeah. There's, oh boy, those Saturn transits are important. They can help you right the wrongs, if you will, okay? Because things were like, I don't know, like where the universe had its finger on the scale for how long, and it just seemed like things were not always going in your favor, no matter what you did, no matter what you tried, all right? But there is something here which is taking place, and it's in alignment with your hopes and dreams. Now, I gotta tell you, I get the feeling that it's not as though a particular hope or dream comes front and center this month, but I do feel as though the path that leads you to it is what opens up, and you don't even realize it's the path, okay? Because you're at a crossroads. You gotta figure out your own life, where you're going, what you're doing, and you need to make things in your life more fair for the long term. This is about you. How are you making your mark on this world? What are you leaving behind? Not anybody else. But things are easing up a bit this month. That's a good thing. All right. Wow. Oh, man. Oh, my God. I couldn't do this more if I tried. Give me a moment because I am like totally in awe of these cards. This is the month, and I'm going to call it like Velcro. All right? Think about that for a moment. Did you ever try to pull Velcro apart? Just the sound of it is painful. Right? I can't do it. I can't make the noise. Now remember, Saturn is involved here, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to meticulously work out the details, all right? It's not perfection, all right? Sometimes we got to go back and do things again. It's not a one-time deal, but you're going to meticulously work out the details to separate yourself from these things which have been in your past. I want to call it, for some of you, not everything in your life, but maybe at least one situation that has really been, just a major disappointment to you or whatever. Kind of a once and for all. Like, once for all. I'm just done with this. Like, I have to figure out in my life. That's what June is presenting to you. Because how can you go forward? How can you have new chapters and open new doors if you're still dragging the same old crap with you through each door? So you're separating yourself from it over these next 3 months. Yeah. This new season of energy, which is coming in June, right? What was it, the 21st? So that's going to take you to like September. Boy. And of course September is going to bring a whole new adventure. Yeah, I'm starting to get those little chills and that, like, I can't even explain it. Oh my God. Trying to figure out where you fit in and just, beginning to enjoy life more. I really truly hope that you can, because a lot of what is going on here is very, very karmic. But that's just it. If you have lived life on a slippery slope, down you go. But if you have been, doing your best, and I know most of you think you have, you really are going to begin to see things improving over these next 3 months. Because you put in the work, you put in the effort. Something's going on, right? Something's going on. Wow. You just felt so stuck for so long. And things are changing. Things are changing. You are finding ways to, I want to say, rise up and recover. Like, life can only beat you down so much, and I have met many people over the years who have had experiences where life has bottomed out. But what happens? There's nowhere left to go but up. Things do change, and we can never, ever, convince ourselves that it's going to stay that way. It's only going to stay that way if you let it. Oh, this is definitely... I'm telling you, from really the beginning of the month onward. So we're in June, right? This is almost like if we've been doing this in segments, and we did March, April, May, and June. Now we're doing June, July, August, and September. September is going to prove to be very interesting. It's a culmination of what is going on. Actually, I'm being told to tell you that October is more a culmination of these energies which are here. This part of the story, this chapter or whatever, because things are turning over the next 3 months. I want to say that there's something specific which will be taking place in August, all right? Don't know what that is or when that is off the top of my head here, but that's what I'm feeling. And that's what leads to something new and different coming in September. So a tremendous focus on your plans right now is going to be very important. And I think that you're going to be, you know, um, so glad that you did. Where here, it's summertime when the solstice comes. So everybody wants to be out in the sun, having a good time, and all of that. But I'll tell you what, I think paying attention to what it is you want in your life is something which may need to take priority. And the reason I'm saying that is because it's sort of understated. What's going on is so huge, but it's understated. You're going to get out of it what you're putting into it. And when you go back, and you can go to my website, tarotbycecilia.com, click on my calendar, planetary events, and read over the transits and everything else for this month. Find those moments when you need to be doing these things, because what I am looking at here, is you planting the seeds for abundance and happiness, and being able to just step in there and make your changes. And let me see, next month, I'm going to say at the new moon in Cancer. Now, I don't know why, all right? Wait a minute, I do. Okay, I do, because I was looking at this elsewhere, and I was like, wait a minute, something's not making sense to me. The same day, the new moon in Cancer is July 17th. I think that really sending those intentions out there at that point is going to be very important, because the very same day, only a couple hours before the new moon, the North Node moves into the sign of Aries, and the South Node in Libra. Now, I know that's not this month, but next month is coming, and it will be here sooner than you think. There are many events which are happening and taking place. Like I said, this reading is very understated in how it comes across, but when I look at it, I can see how big, huge, long-lasting the effects, the outcomes, all of these things will be. So, yeah, stay tuned, because I have so much more to say. I want to thank you all very much for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care.